My presentation is about creating your world and connecting with your audience. We pride ourselves on being storytellers. We feel like every artist should come with a story that connects with the fans and, connects with their brand. So the first one I want to do is Rory. And so there's a little bit of background at this point. This was like 2015 Atlanta, that's kind of known for trap sound and, strippers and money and drugs. Like that was kind of what Atlanta was kind of known for at the time. Rory represented the weird niche kids, one of the hipster kids. He was on Edgewood. Like these were the people that he was around. And so a lot of people would see it at the time of like, that seemed being a sort of barrier with Atlanta having this whole trap sound and you coming with something different, but we more so saw it as an opportunity to start a niche that he would become known for in Atlanta, become known for a whole nother side. So going into that, the biggest thing for us was messaging. So from everything for the photo shoots to all the artwork, like Rory never really took a picture by himself. I always had different kids with him that represented the weird side of Atlanta always in the pictures because that was, the stuff that he would naturally do. We always wanted to make stuff that was authentic to him. But I think for us, messaging I think is important because you have to let people know what you stand for and kind of like why we should listen to you. So the next thing I want to get into is what we did as far as like from a physical measure. I feel like, we're in the time of people love to tweet you their mixtapes, SoundCloud links, and like comment on Instagram, you go check my music out, blah, blah, blah. All this stuff that's like done over the computer, over the phone, when it's like, for us initially getting out there in the world, the first thing that we wanted to do was do real physical marketing, do real stuff to where you show people that like why they should care about you as an artist and why they should care about your music. So 3 things that we kind of did with Rory. The first time I just briefly touch on like the God's Whisper video. That was a culmination of all of our money at the time. You could sit out here and make 5, 6 videos, got somebody that has a camera and you go out there, you just try to make videos. We felt that like, especially at that certain time, no one really would care what we put out unless we made this shit look like it was amazing. And so me and 4 of my other partners, I was working in Nordstrom at the time, we put all of our last money into one music video. This was my first time directing, first time running treatment. My partners was here, my first time producing. It was our first time doing everything, but we put all of our eggs in one basket. We put out the music video, and a month later, Kanye had called us, he wanted to reach out and start working with us. Second thing, the anti-tour. It's more so a concept that was like when you're first starting out in the music industry, no one really cares about putting you on. That's just the nature of the game. So it was more so like nobody's gonna put you on their shows, opening their tours. So what we wanted to do was more so put ourselves in bringing the show to fans and bringing the show to people. So when we had artists come to town like Childish Gambino, Tyler, the Creator, we felt that their fans could be possible fans of Rory. We represented the same demographic. So what we did was at the let out of these shows, you're gonna have 1,000, 2,000 kids kind of waiting for their parents to pick them up, waiting for their rides, just all kind of hanging out after the show. So what we did, we'd pull up to these shows in a U-Haul truck that we kind of rented. Rory would get on top of the U-Haul. We'd have a band pop out, a full band in the parking lot, and kind of have a concert in front of all these people that's already there to go see this other artist. That was kind of our way of headlining an artist's show that just headlined. So it's kind of like, bringing our show to them. And then the same thing with the Roar Fest was more so another idea to where it's like, we tried to get on a bunch of different show circuits that come in Atlanta, and nothing was really benefiting us the way that we felt. So we felt like our best way for Rory was more so making a concert to where it's directly people are there for you. And we made it free. Stuff is not easy. Everybody feels like you need money to kind of do things. And when you're not getting that return back, you kind of look at it as like it's a failure. Our belief was that when we put this energy out into the world, it's gonna come and meet us halfway. So we lost a lot of money. We put a lot of money to everything we did, but we kind of made it everything about the people. And so the people just had our back in the end. So Roar Fest was a concert, a free concert we put together with all of our money that at the end of the day, we had, I think, 600 kids come out, but now you have 600 kids that's spreading the word about your music now. Next, I want to talk about transitioning between projects. A whole nother artist and a whole other part of his career was Black. So I think Black was coming off of a stellar debut project, Free Black, that of course put his name on the scene. He had multi-platinum records, but going into his second project, everyone is like, all right, cool, what is he gonna do next? Because you come off, you have major songs that people start being known for a song, and it's like, how do you then turn them and make them care about the artist? So I think for us, it was more so we set the tone before we even put out the first project with Black, because we made everything that had to do with Black very authentic to him as a person. So what I mean by that is like using his real life to kind of tell a marketing story. So when Black first came out, his branding was all black and white. Like you cannot find a picture of Black without black and white. But we always knew that we wanted to expand and do something different moving forward. So while he had Free Black, he was having a daughter. And we all thought it'd be an amazing idea. So like, the first picture Black ever posted in color was of his baby daughter when she was born. We wanted to use his real life as the marketing behind it. So from that point on, you had fans that was like, all right, cool, his daughter's being born. Now he sees the whole world in a different light. That was just part of the story. So going into the next project, there was another thing that he wanted to do was cut his hair. Coming into the game, he was already known for, the scraggly hair that, people felt that was a part of his brand. But we also too wanted to use that as part of the story because, going into his next project, it was like, I want to rid myself of all these past and stealings. It was a weight on his head that literally was there that he wanted to get rid of. So we kind of used that to transition into the next project as well too. So we believe that there's 3 perfect steps to a good rollout. And what those is do something engaging, do something meaningful, and do something memorable. In Los Angeles, we turned over a strip club in LA and made it to Magic City, which is like, a popular magic strip club in Atlanta. And like, that was for the who's who of like, why should I care? Because, there's nothing crazier than riding down Sunset and you see Magic City being built up and it's just like, what's going on? Like that was the engaging stuff we did to have influencers and tastemakers kind of talking about your project even before it comes out. So the last one I want to talk about is with Boogie and revitalizing fan engagement. So Boogie had put out a mixtape, I think in like 2014, 2015. His last mixtape, and he had now been signed to Eminem's label, and he was kind of on the shelf for a year, and it was just kind of at a point to where like Boogie, there was no traction. When you post a pic and I'm getting more likes than you, is a problem. Like so going into Boogie's whole thing was more so. Before we got into the music, it was more so getting people engaged with Boogie as an artist again. And so us personally knowing Boogie, I know Boogie's the funniest person in the room, and we really want to highlight that personality trait that he has. So all of our marketing, our creative efforts going into the project was getting you more so engaged with Boogie again, so you know who he was, so that when the music came out, you didn't even know what you were kind of getting into, but you were going to listen because you've been so intrigued with this person. So everything that we wanted to do with this Everything's for Sale album was more so based on, we wanted everything to feel janky. We wanted everything to feel DIY, like, cause he was signed to Eminem, but I can tell you personally, he blew all that money the first month. So we wanted everything to just like feel authentically him. So even when it came to like the Torah art looked like a Craigslist poster. It was just like, is this a real thing? Or is this like, what's really going on here? From like when you go to his website, the website was full of like just ads and spam and like Boogie's selling you antivirus. Like what's really going on here? So it's like, and all of these kind of ideas kind of led us into what I think was like the pinnacle of that kind of marketing campaign, which we call like the miracle suit. So when Boogie put on this like red suit, he turned into everything from like a car salesman to like a preacher to everything. It was just like, we wanted you just involved in this Boogie character because we wanted to tell, even though the music is going to be great, he's a funny guy and really engaging. So that's how we kind of revitalized Boogie's career into like, into his last project that he just put out. And I think the last point for me is the most important point I want to leave you guys off with is that it takes a village. You need to build a team. Like, I would not be standing here today if it was not for the amazing team that I have surrounded myself with. There's a lot of my people in here as well too. Like, I think that, you have to know yourself, be able to signify your strengths and your weaknesses, and be able to surround yourself with people that can balance you out. I'm not the best in all aspects of managing an artist or on a record label, but I surround myself with people that have strength where I lack. So that'd be the only best thing that I could suggest to anybody is like, build yourself a team. Thank you. And I'll start leaving it up to questions.
I saw in the Rory artwork for the first album use the word abrasive. If you're an artist who thinks that they may at some point in their career be abrasive, would you suggest they do that early or later?
I say early, man. I say early because it's like, because I feel like if you do certain efforts after you've come out and you've marketed yourself a certain way, now it looks like you're trying to chase something, or now it looks like you're trying to switch up to kind of compete with something else. It's not necessarily you. So I think if going into your brand that you want to establish, that you want to be a rebel and you do want to do rebellious things, I would say come from it from the start. Like Tyler the Creator could not be doing Bastard right now. I feel like he had to do that to kind of come out to make the music that he is now. So.
As a label, being reached out to from an artist, what are some things that would annoy you other than spam, but like annoy you or turn you off towards an artist? And then what are some things that would like stand out and impress you, like being reached out to?
So yeah, I think just being very concise in when you do reach out to people, getting your links out, just making it straight to the point is just the best way to get somebody's attention. Thank you guys so much. It's such amazing. Thank you, Co.Lab and Spotify for Artists for having me.